Ever since Corsair acquired Drop, they have been making moves in the keyboard space, and the K65 Plus Wireless is a prime example of that. And as far as gaming headsets, well, they've always made some of the best. But when it comes to their gaming mice, all right. Let me at least give them a chance and check out their new M55 Wireless. Now, unfortunately, I can only show you the wireless version, not the wired version, because Corsair sent me 2 wireless versions instead. Well, lucky for you, I'm gonna go ahead and give away the other wireless version. All you gotta do is watch the video, be a subscriber, and comment down below. Of course, shipping just US, because shipping is so darn expensive these days. Maybe a loss that we can't check them out, but hey, at least a win for you, because maybe you can check it out. Now, as far as inside your very tiny box, I mean, this has to be the smallest mouse box I have ever seen. So really cool, right? You don't need all that excessive waste. So anyways, tiny box. Then you get your mouse right here. You get this random off-brand AA battery. You get your warranty guide and safety information. You know, I'm pretty curious. What the heck are these safety and compliance information sheets that come in all of our products? I never read them. I bet you guys don't either. So I'm curious. I know you guys are like, yo, dive into the mouse. This has nothing to do with the review. I'm just curious here. So I want to look over this, what it says. Let's find the English section, as we got 20 different languages. It says, please use and store the product in a room temperature controlled environment. Pass. Please use this product with Corsair approved accessories only. So I can't use a different mouse pad or keyboard? I don't know. Do not use this product in a confined space or cover or block the ventilation holes. I don't see any ventilation holes. Do not insert foreign objects into any opening of the product. Remember that? Here's a good one. Do not attempt to replace the battery. Instead, contact Corsair customer support for repair or replacement information. Okay, so as you saw in the box, it uses a AA battery, and I guess they're telling us don't change this by yourself. We're just big dummies. We can't swap out the battery. Make sure to call Corsair customer support. No wonder I never read these. So let's at least give this mouse a fair look over before we write it off. And I want to kick it off with the measurements, and starting off with my hand measurements here, just so you can see and kind of vibe with me whenever I'm talking about it being big, small, or anything with the shape. And as far as the measurements of the mouse, let's get some raw measurements here from the front to the back, right there. As far as that grip width, right here, kind of below the buttons. Sorry I got this upside down. That's the way my dang camera is. And then up here towards the front, you can see that. Back, I mean, it really does not flare out much at all. And then as far as that mid hump point, right there. And then the back where it starts to taper off a bit. Oh, you can see that measurement there. Now let's go and take a look at the grip points underneath the heat signature camera here, or lack thereof, because as you noticed, it is a pretty darn small mouse. And whenever I use it, it's pretty much straight up like this, fingertip grip. My thumb comes near the back button. I almost got to stretch up to the front button, but my core grip here is definitely a fingertip over here on this side, up towards the front, and then the sides right there. So I'll pull it underneath the camera, and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing touching the back end there. Of course, 1 and 2, and then the side, and then this side over there. But you can see there's nothing in the back end. Now, if you got a smaller hand, I can see it kind of becoming a relaxed, kind of just setting down on there. It's not going to come in the back of your palm either, but you can still kind of rest your hand across it right there. But you're going to slow down a whole lot with that. You're not going to be able to really flick it around. And when we take this and put it underneath the camera, you can see right here, it's just going to flow right across the top, but still you're not going to really get anything in the back of your palm. So again, it's still pretty much a fingertip or relaxed fingertip, I guess we can say. It's a small mouse. So just to reiterate, whenever I say it's a small mouse, again, I gave you the dimensions of my hand. So again, with medium to large hands, this is a small egg-shaped mouse. As you can see, it flares in right towards the back, comes out to the front there, very minimal hump as far as the height, and then it rolls down. So again, whenever I'm using it, I'm pretty much right in this fingertip. And what I was talking about there is my thumb is right in line with the button, which I want to talk about the buttons and the switches and the feel right now. But as my grip, again, I'm on my 1 and 2, right over here, I'm just for that. When I got to reach for the front one, I feel myself having to work the mouse a little bit to the back, and then it comes into the back of my palm, which is just weird. I think with this shape and how it is, I feel like these buttons should have been, I don't know, maybe a pinch back, but again, that's just personal preference how I grip the mouse. But now as far as the actual buttons across this mouse, I'm really not too sure what they're using in 1 and 2. I don't have any information anywhere, but I will tell you, they're snappy, to the point. They do got a little bit of give on the full press down. As you can see, we'll press, we'll click right there, and then we got this extra bit right down there. I wouldn't say it has like the bouncy effect, kind of like I got from those new Lamzu Fanatic mice. What this has is more of a press down, and I don't want to say mush, that's kind of harsh, but you feel that extra bit right there, but it doesn't throw you right up, giving you that bounce effect. Hopefully that makes sense. The scroll wheel feels amazing. You see it's flat textured right there. And I don't know if you can see in the design, but inside the scroll wheel, they got those same little triangle designs like they got on the side of the mouse. Just cool little touch. Now the side buttons here, same effect as the 1 and 2. Snappy, right to the point. You feel that press, but you got a little bit of excess in there, kind of giving you, again, I don't want to say mushy because it's not mushy, but maybe a controller button feel would be a better description. Now, as far as underneath the mouse, as you see, you have your power button or Bluetooth button, which you just press and it'll cycle through one or the other. You hold it down to power it on or off. Over here is your actual dongle with your dongle storage, which I think I forgot to show this in your box segment. Now, I'm not sure if this dongle is included as a foreign object that we're putting into an opening on this mouse, as we saw in the safety guide. So don't hold me to that. Now, let's go on and see how much this little guy actually weighs. And as I showed you in your box, you're included with some random off-brand AA, which is going to weigh 23.1 grams. I use a lithium battery, which I recommend if you use any mouse to use that. It's going to come in at roughly right around 15 grams. So you see you're shaving off a little bit of weight there. The mouse itself, putting it on a scale without any battery, we're getting right around 61 grams, which is crazy because, oh, you know what? Let me take the dongle out here. Okay, now the dongle's out. Let's see what we get. We get 59.6. So we saved a little bit, but still, for this little tiny mouse, that is lofty. Now let's go and try it with the battery that they included here. I'm just going to, let me get that back on there. It's going to come in at 82 grams. Oh my gosh, this thing is lofty. Okay, let's go on and try it with this lithium battery here. See if we get anything better. Let me get that back on. We're going to get 74.5. And if you're curious, your safety guide is 5.7 grams. Now, as someone that's not so hung up on weight, I mean, we got to admit, this is one hefty little booger for a tiny mouse, you know? The worst thing about it, even other than the weight, which I can usually look past, but the balancing of this weight is bad. That battery's towards the back right there, and you clear as day feel that weight in the back. Even when you're gaming with it, you feel that drag in the back, just like that recent Logitech one that just came out. It's like that battery has to be centralized, if anything. I will tell you what, when you pop that battery out and actually just feel the mouse itself here, it feels really nice, very nice and balanced, and that's where I can see this mouse shining. So I don't know, maybe the wired one can be a little bit better if it has a good cable, or a wireless one. I think it could be beneficial because right now it feels great. When you put that battery in, it's no go. Now, of course, where Corsair never misses is with the build quality, and that rolls off the tongue a little weird. Of course, Corsair. Corsair, of course. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but their build quality is always great. I can press it up here to 15 pounds, no flexing at all. Over here on the other side, no button actuation when I press in. Up on the top on the battery cover, just as firm up there. I mean, it is built like a tank, as we just saw in the weight. Now, let's go and take a look at the IQ software. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. Can be a little bit of a handful sometimes, but stick with me through this one as we're going to look at the Slipstream wireless receiver, our dongle, and then the mouse. You're like, okay, I know what they are, but anyways, help me out here, okay? So we got our mouse buttons, which you can adjust. We all know that. Same with the side. You can just select your mouse button or come over here. DPI adjustments, all familiar with. You can disable them if you want. As far as increments, it is in increments of 100, it looks like. Okay, that's kind of new right there. Anyways, in increments of 100, basic stuff. But when you come over here to settings, this is where things are going to get interesting, right? So we got our mouse and then our dongle. basic settings, battery status, sleep mode, power save, yada, yada, yada. Updates, all that basic stuff. But when you come down here to the receiver, the Slipstream dongle, you can see USB receiver polling rate is 1000 hertz. Come down here to Slipstream wireless polling rate, it's 2000. Like, I'm not too sure what's going on here because that's what we have with the mouse. That's what it's paired up to. Again, coming over here to settings, you got 1000, but down here it says Slipstream wireless being 2000. So which one is it? But now when we come to a basic website being cptest.org, we'll do our polling rate test on the mouse. Again, these things are never 100% accurate. It's a web page. You got ads going and all sorts of other garbage going on here. So anyways, just kind of swiping my mouse around. You see I'm staying pretty much steady around 1000. It'll peak up over it a little bit if I do a super fast here. Again, it's pretty much staying around that 1000. So my guess is it's, again, that 1000 polling rate, even though it peaks over here and there. Now, even when I come over here to Razer's polling rate tester, it's showing right around 1000. It's sticking pretty much at that 1000, not peaking up or anything like that. But as far as performance of the mouse, whenever I've been gaming with it, it's been spot on. No hiccups, no delays, no lags, no nothing. The only thing I noticed is number one, it being too small of a mouse for me, but also that weight in the back due to the battery. But the core performance, button clicks, the feel, again, the sensor and everything, no lag, no hiccups, no nothing. It was spot on. And that's with it using the PAW3311 sensor. Again, spot on. And when using it wireless, 2.4 via the Slipstream, you're going to get up to 185 hours. That's with, again, that included battery, probably longer with the lithium. And then when you're running Bluetooth, you can get up to 400 hours. Now, on a more positive note, I will tell you that the glide, whenever you're using it here, is very nice. I love the bigger feet on a smaller mouse, nice big foot around it, and a really nice big PTFE feet, nice and rounded right around the edge. I gotta say, these are some of the better skates I've seen on any budget mouse out of the box. Really like these. Now, I would say the best part of the new M55 Wireless from Corsair is the price point. The wireless one's going to come in at 50 bucks, and then the wired one is going to come in at 30 bucks. And I'd love to sit here and say, man, I would love to recommend that wired one because it's going to eliminate one of the biggest issues here being not the heavyweight, but the weight placement. It's weird that it's heavy for such a small mouse, but that weight placement was probably my biggest killer, even other than it being too small of a mouse for me. So if the wired one has a good wire, or you're willing to slap a paracord on it, I can see it being a really good egg-shaped type mouse. But the wired one right here, or the wireless one, again, the weight placement is so bad, it feels like they teamed up with Logitech on this one. So unfortunately, no, this is not going to be a mouse that's going to stay on my desk. But again, you can possibly win one and try one out and judge for yourself. So make sure to comment down below and be a subscriber. And if you enjoyed this video and it was helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye now.